Happy New Year, everybody. It's 2011. I'm sitting here with my granddaughter and just thinking about this coming year and what is in store for us and what could happen if everybody just was a little wiser about what's going on. Basically, our money system is controlled by a very small number of mostly foreign, some domestic bankers who play with the supply of money and change the price of things to favor them. That's really what it is. It's illegal, counterfeit type of currency, and it's all across the board. It's not just in America with the dollar. It's in Europe with the euro, and Japan with their money, and China with their money. It's all fiat money. It's all socialist money. It's based on central planning. They're centrally planning the supply of money, and it benefits the people who are supplying the money. It doesn't benefit the average individual, what I call free-range slave, because that's where we've come to today. We've come to the point of free-range slavery, where you're allowed to move around a bit, but they have you bagged and tagged from birth, and they track you all through school. And they're waiting with their hand out on anything that you make for the remainder of your life. And what it comes down to now is they get you to go with that because they promise you all these goodies. Really, way more goodies than could be expected to be delivered. Anybody with any kind of sense about economics would understand could be possible. Especially so when you talk about the states and local governments. They've got the Cadillac plans. They're giving away these. I mean, it's wonderful to be able to do these things. Or like some European countries where they get to retire when they're 50 years old. Many police and fire, they put in 20 years, they get to retire. Full benefits. And that's just wonderful. But it doesn't make economic sense. It's not economically possible. And it's going to bring the states down. And a lot of this has been postponed through lending, borrowing. Exactly. We have, and our governments have, state, local, and federal, gone to the very same predatory snakes running this counterfeit operation. It doesn't have to be this way. It does not have to be this way. We don't have to go through this austerity program to stick it to this child here who's only been on the earth not even 3 months. It's not her fault. It's not my fault. If you've been listening to me for the last 30 years, we wouldn't be here right now because I knew we were heading to this place. Just like Ron Paul. I was working for his campaign back in the 80s when he ran for president the first time because I knew what he was talking about. This is not rocket science. It's not something that the average American or person around the world couldn't understand. It's very understandable. The idea of a fiat money system. And you better study it up because it's a swindle. And the swindlers are about ready to do something drastic to save their butts. And they got a delusion of going to a world fiat currency system as their answer du jour for the problem that they caused. Reagan didn't collapse the Soviet Union. The bankers did. They backed both sides in World War I, World War II. They backing Castro, and they're backing us. They're lending money to both sides. That's what they've always done. That's how they make their money. And selling armaments to both sides. Selling bombs to both sides. So you have to realize this and say, well, wait a minute. If this is a swindle, what do we do? It's just so easy. It's just so tremendously easy that it shouldn't even be a hesitation to do it. And that's just write off the debt. Just write it off. You can't pay trillions of dollars to pay these swindlers back, these loan sharks, these mafioso. You can't do it. And you can't expect her to do it, and your grandkids and their kids to do it. They didn't even cause the problem. So what we do is we just get together and we don't pay the swindlers back. We close the Federal Reserve and we allow competing money, not based on fraud. In other words, the money, whatever the money is, has to be worth money. It has to be worth something. Don't hand me toilet paper and tell me it's money. Because I got one use for toilet paper. And then I'm going to flush it. When I want money, I want it to be made of gold. I want it to be made of silver. I want money that's platinum. I want money that's something real, something tangible, something that conveys the value of my labor and holds it. Not some toilet paper money that these sneaky international bankers whip up, and anytime they whip up some of the money, they always whip up a little bit more for them and their buddies, for their own uses, and that, of course, causes these price bubbles, which they take advantage of. So I need you to just open your eyes and see what they're doing and realize the way out. It's so simple. We don't have to pay these guys back. We're not responsible for this. This is the Federal Reserve. This is the central bank in Europe. These are the central bankers in Tokyo, in Beijing. Those are the ones that are doing it. There's just two sides here, really. It's us. That's all of us. Here in the United States, in England, all across Europe, in Asia, and Africa, all of us. What are we doing? I know you got some of these here too, probably. And you're just trying to raise them and put food in their mouth and a roof over their head. And it's not that hard to do. It's just that we're being stolen from secretly with this monetary system. And you shouldn't even call it a system, it's a scheme. So we just need to, in the new year, take all the debt and hand it to the Federal Reserve and the central bankers in England, in China, in Russia, everywhere. Just give them their debt and say, here's your dollar. You use these all you want to, and you pay your debts with these here. And we'll use our own money. We need to legalize competing money. What kind of free country we got here where we got to use foreign bankers' toilet paper money? Wake up, you morons. We're Americans. Are you going to sit there and have some arrogant, little snotty-nosed European banker tell you what kind of money you can use? I don't care if it looks American and it's got American presidents on it. It's their money. You're renting it. Bugger that. In this new year, let's wise up. Pass this video around so the rest of you morons, I don't mean just in America, I mean all across the world. You're slaves. You're slaves to these bankers. You're free-range slaves. Wake the hell up this year before they do something ridiculous and get one of us slinging nukes at the other one of us. It's all a lot of nonsense. Every bit of it. And it's the latest boogeyman du jour, Iran. It's ridiculous. They can't even refine their own gasoline. And these swine who've taken control of our government are trying to convince everybody that they're a huge threat. They're not. They're just another oligarchy. No different than Chavez's oligarchy, Castro's oligarchy, the U.S. Britain oligarchy. These are the guys controlling things in the background. And they got all kinds of tools that they can use at their disposal to control things and do things behind the scenes that you don't know about. And one of those is the funny money and the money supply. This coming up year, don't use it. Don't take it. Start using other currency. Quit using the dollar. Get out of the dollars. As soon as you get a dollar, turn it into an alternative currency, whether it's silver, gold, and just don't use these foreigners' money. We're Americans. Stand up and start acting like them. This is Tomas Estrada Palma. Hope you do have a happy new year. And sorry if I sound kind of curt, but it's annoying. I'm not annoyed at you. I'm very, very annoyed at the foreign bankers and the traitors within my own government who aid them. Y'all have a happy new year. Bye-bye.